Oh, we're back once again with another one. DSL family. Oh man, I love everything. I love everything, you guys and girls, and plants and animals, trees. I love everything in life. We've built up this reality so strong to the point to where we forget that without the reality, we're still there. We think that when we pay attention to reality, that we dissipate into it. I'll give you an example if you're confused. When you're watching TV and you see a character do something really silly, your reality at that point is, wow, this character is an asshole, or this character is a mean person, or man, I wouldn't have done anything like that. Your entire existence and awareness is focused on that one thing, that character and what they did. Well, that's you helping to build reality for yourself. You see? And when you do that, where do you go? You go into that reality. You develop a mentality that has to be paired with that reality in order for you to be okay. Like, for example, if I have another example, I should say, the way that I dress, let's just use this, right? The way I dress, the way you dress, whoever. That is not something that just happens. Okay, in case we forget, it doesn't just happen that we put on clothes that fit us well, or that we decide that this color accents this portion of my being, right? Or that I feel really blue today in a good way. I feel like the sky, I feel like a bird flying. Let me wear some blue. You see, these are just things, including the thought itself. It's just a thing. The witness of that, the one who's behind it all, who sees it all, who's feeling it, smelling it, tasting it, touching it, and seeing it, that is you. That is the actual you that gets lost in the myriad of life, events, subjects, things. We get lost in all of this. And when I say that, it's actually very powerful. It's very powerful. For one to realize that this existence is not all that we expected it to be in the first place. That's enlightenment. You see, we have this expectation of everything. Everything does not. This is something crazy I heard last night, 2 days ago, last night, multiple times. It said, doesn't everything bother you? Right? The sun right now is shining on me and it's warm. It's 90 degrees out here. This is Palm Springs sun. It shines differently. In case you've never been here before, ask anybody who's been to Palm Springs. When it's hot, the heat is unlike anything else. And yet in this heat, I could be one to complain about it. Like in the past, I used to be like, dude, it's so hot. This sucks. And then also the sun is actually shining in my eye, so I can't even see the camera. I can guess where it is, but you see these little things here? It's disturbing my body and my mind, but it's not disturbing me, because I'm not those things. I'm not my body, I'm not my mind, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions. I am what witnesses all of this. I am the one experiencing these things. I am not those things. I am experiencing that. Like an airplane, you can say, oh, I was up in the air for a little bit. And then you could say, I was up in the air. And someone will say, well, were you flying? You could say, yeah. But then you wouldn't be telling the truth, right? Because for you to physically be flying is impossible. It's impossible. You were experiencing being in the air, above ground, looking out at the landscape, but you weren't technically flying. You see, the whole point is you were not technically flying. You were experiencing the flight. You were experiencing the sensations. Your body is what had to acclimate to the fact that you were in a higher altitude than normal. It's always about you experiencing, never the experience itself. You see, because once we trap ourselves in the experience itself, it can replay and it can keep going and going, even though the rest of the world and the rest of life is still unfolding, continuous. It doesn't stop. So when we lock ourselves to one frame of mind or one frame of thinking, it literally pulls all of our attention, which is an insane amount. You can't even measure how much attention that we have as humans. It takes all of that massive amount of attention and whoop, puts blinders on it and intently makes it focus on one thing, which is something that may have happened a day ago, 2 days ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago when you were a kid. These things happen and we hold on to them. That's why it's hard to let them go, because you've held on to something that is not you, period. You ever been in one of those situations where someone pisses you off, right? And then for the rest of your life, until you see them again, every time you think about them, that emotion comes up where you're pissed. See, that has happened to me very few. I've been so blessed from a young age to never hold a grudge against people, at least not a strong one. Not one that you'll hear me complain about, like, oh yeah, I remember in 5th grade they did that. Oh, I remember back in high school this person was a dick to me, right? I've never been that type of person to hold those types of grudges. Now, when I'm talking about this in perspective to that, holding a grudge, that right there is something that naturally occurs when this person can't handle what's going on, right? So when someone pissed you off 10 years ago, back in high school, and back when y'all were really good friends and you guys had no fights, but then this one thing happened and all of a sudden y'all just, your relationship is no more. Now, let's say you see that person in 10 years, right? 10 years from the day it happened. Well, by the time that 10-year term has come around, every time you've thought of them, something negative has come up for you, right? You've had a negative emotion attached and you instantly get into the state of being that you were in at the time when it happened. Well, let's say you meet that person again and they're saying, hey, what's up? Oh my God, it's been a long time. What's going to happen in your mind? What's going to happen in your body? Your mind and your body, whoop, goes back 10 years in time. You literally time travel all the way back to where you were. And then you end up having a completely different conversation or mindset about the conversation with this person. So the person's excited to see you and you act like you're excited to see them, faking it and lying. And then all of a sudden they say, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I thought we were cool. I thought things were okay. It's been 10 years. Why are you still upset? Oh, I didn't even know I upset you that way, right? I didn't even know that you were that upset about it. I just thought we stopped being friends. You see, you two totally had different experiences. You on this end, every time you think about it, boom, your heart rate increases. You start to get hot and sweaty. Every time they think of you, they're like, oh my God, I really remember that. I missed that relationship. And they stay stable, or even their heart rate decreases as in a relaxed state, because when they think about you, they're relaxed. So when you meet each other, boom, at totally different spaces. And we try to fill in this gap with some fake ass conversation that leads us where? Well, once you leave that second meeting with this person, once you leave that 10-year, we've been waiting to see each other, now we see each other again. Once you leave that meeting, you're going to fall either right back to where you were, or you're going to let it all go and you're going to start where you are, which is with the letting go. It's okay. It happened. I'm over it. They moved on. I moved on. Life is good. So we always have a choice. We always have a choice. I love life. I love life. I love it. Can you hear the birds? I see a lot of little bugs flying. Wow. This bug landed on me the other day, a little tiny guy. And he was just so cute. But I remember in the past I would have, oh God, get this bug away from me, right? All that stuff. I don't do that anymore. A bee, I might feel a little something, I feel a reaction, but I won't actually physically move my body and react to it. I'll let that pass. Because the more and more I do that, the more I actually learn about the bee, the more I can study the bee and its own sense of life. It may sound boring, it may sound yogic, it may sound hippie-ish, but this is reality. So eat it, love it, and I'll talk to y'all soon.